Hello everyone, today is November the 1st of the year 2023. Well, technically it's the 2nd now because we're into the early morning hours. I'll get into what we're doing today. This is a 2019 Jeep Cherokee, not Grand Cherokee, just Cherokee. It's got the little V6 3.2 front wheel drive setup. Chrysler uses these little 3.2s in a lot of different platforms, so even though you don't have a Cherokee, you might have this same engine anyway, so you might learn something on this video. 2019s, there ain't that many videos online, so I figured I would make a video about this. That's an assumption. I really haven't looked for these videos, so someone might just be like, nah, I saw a bunch of videos, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, good, you spend more time on YouTube than I do. Anyways, this is the oil filter housing, and I'll put my light on it with your light. And this is the oil filter housing, and what happens is you'll go to these places like Goofy Lube, Pecker Boys, places like that, and the guys will tighten this down too hard, crack it, and create a leak. And they sell an aftermarket upgrade. I'm going to move this temporarily right there out of the way. And if you look down in here, where this guy is pointing down in the bottom, can't really see it there, find a better angle. You can see the oil down in there. Try to find a different spot to look. You can see. Okay, you can see that there? Camera don't do it justice. There really is a lot more oil than what you can see there. Maybe if you come around behind me and shine the camera down in here where the pointer's going. There you go. So you can see all the oil down in that hole right in there. So this is the valley. This is the oil cooler. And this is the oil filter housing and the oil cooler. You got your oil pressure switch, a temperature sensor, all that buried in here. So you have to remove the upper intake manifold, which is right there. And then you also have to remove the lower intake manifold with your fuel injectors, which is right there. So if you come back over here, we're doing a tune-up. We've pulled spark plugs. We're going to do valve cover gaskets also while we're in here. We're doing a full service tune-up. But I'm going to get into the importance of replacing this anyways. Even if yours hasn't been cracked by Goofy Lube or whoever else thought they cracked it, or maybe the housing itself sometimes doesn't get cracked. They're just known for leaking on the bottom. This one has 100,000 miles and they're known for that around this mileage. So it's time to upgrade, and I'm going to show you the upgrade. I don't mean replace, I mean upgrade. But before we get into the upgrade, I'm going to have the camera focus right here at all this carbon buildup, if you can see that. Maybe a little better angle where you can really appreciate how much carbon is in there. Yeah, so all that nasty black stuff will get scraped and cleaned out. All that carbon buildup over time, and all the cylinders have it. All of them have it. So we'll do an intake port cleaning. We'll hit all this with the vacuum, suck all this up so nothing falls in there. While the valves are open, like you can, if you get the camera all the way in there, you can probably see that the valves are open inside of that cylinder. Okay, there you go. You see down in that hole, the camera doesn't do the best job. This is an iPhone 13. But you can see the valves are open down on the bottom. So we want those valves closed on each cylinder. So on this cylinder, we'll bring the valves all the way up so nothing can fall in there. And we'll use the ex-girlfriend's toothbrush and some cans of brake cleaner, and we'll get this all cleaned up, right? And then we'll move on to the next cylinder, and we'll do the same. We put these valves closed all the way up, rotate the engine from the crank pulley, get this up, and repeat the same process in all 6 cylinders. So once that's been cleaned, intake ports have been cleaned, we're gonna do the valve covers like I mentioned, also spark plugs, all that. I'm gonna show you the upgrade. If you'll follow me over this way. Here we have some good quality Felpro gaskets, and this is your part number. We got V as in Victor, S as in Sam, 50805, R as in Robert, and that is your part number for this Chrysler 3.6 and the 3.2 are the common engines, and they both use the same valve cover, whether it's a 3.2 or 3.6. What changes is the stroke in the bottom end. The valve covers are actually the same. But you'll also get your tube seals for your spark plug seals. And this one wasn't leaking into the tube seals, but we're going to replace them anyways, just because it's at 100,000 miles. Here is the upgrade I wanted to show you guys, and I believe I have a part number somewhere. Here you go. So part number is 296-959. This is a Dorman part number. I'm not going to mention prices. You can go find out yourself what it costs, because depending on where you live, there might be a different price for you. You know, if you live in California, you're paying a lot more than we're paying for stuff over here in New York, things like that. Anyways, here's the upgrade that you get from Dorman. Yes, you get some new bolts, new drain bolt. You get all kind of like hardware and new bolts for it. And you get gaskets set up also for it. So you'll get your new gaskets. Here's your new cooler. Obviously the cooler's aluminum over there. It'll be aluminum over here as well. This is your new cap. And it will come with a filter. Stop. Do not proceed without reading. And it'll tell you this vehicle is retrofitted with an upgraded oil filter housing from a 2015 model year vehicle. To avoid engine damage, replace oil filter must be from 2015 year vehicle. 2015 year replacement. So they're telling you what wicks. See wicks. They give you the part number. Denso, Hastings. These are your different brands. Purolator. And they give you the different part numbers of filters that are allowed to be used in here. But keep in mind, it'll come with the filters. So the first time you just want to run that, it'll have a new rubber seal. And this will always be on here telling you what filters can go in it. So that makes life easy. This is the lid. Like I said, the most important part is on the vehicle. As you saw, this was all plastic. And this is an aluminum upgrade. So they're not going to break it. It's not going to overheat and leak as easily as others would. What it didn't come with, that I was actually disappointed to see, was it didn't come with the O-rings for the bottom here. So I will have to go get those. I thought this was unless they're in here and I'm missing them. These black ones, I don't know, they look a little small. Could be it. I'm hoping these black ones are it. I'm hoping they're it. Could be wrong, but hopefully it's the black ones. It definitely ain't the orange ones. We'll open them up and we'll test one out while we're on camera. How about that? Let me dump this out over here. And let me just pull out these black guys. And let's see. We got those two that are joined together. We got the bigger guy over here. That looks like it would fit there. Doesn't that look a little thin to fit in there? There we go. And these look like they fit in here. That ain't it. And that'll go there. So they want you to rely on these little rubber O-rings. And then this guy, I believe, is for one of the sensors. Oh, here's the other ones for the oil cooler. I'm curious to where does this one go. Let's set it there. These go over here. Like so. For the oil cooler. And then the oil cooler will just sit right on top of that. Get some new bolts. That O-ring we're unsure about. it doesn't go for the oil filter housing. It's most likely for one of the sensors that screw into it. Here it comes with an extra one of these in the bag too. And these are like some kind of drains to clean it with, I guess. But it'll give you an extra one in the kit there. I'll tighten these just to make sure they're all the way tight. But yeah, there's your gaskets. You'll have a hose that'll come here. Oil pressure switch and coolant switch will go there. This will feed oil from the block. So yeah, there's your aluminum upgrade. The mystery O-ring, I'll have to write something in the description about when I figure that one out later. Sometimes, look, here's the other. I think those are oil filter, extra oil filters, because it looks like this came here. And it looks like there might be one that goes on there. And then you have the small one here. These are going to be your intake gaskets, so it's cool that it came with those. We're going to be doing some other stuff while we got this car here. We're going to be doing a set of wiper blades, because why not? We're going to be doing a Gates serpentine belt. Your part number for this is going to be KO60804. That is your Gates Micro V serpentine belt. We have a throttle body gasket, which is part number 61679, right up top there. And then we also have a thermostat gasket, which is 35974. So this is says 3.6, but it's the same as a 3.2. So 35974 is your thermostat gasket. And then Chrysler again, 61679, throttle body. Throttle body thermostat gasket will be going on. Here we got a TX259 part number from Standard. And this, I believe, was meant to be one of the sensors. I believe it might have gave us the wrong one. I'll have to look into this. Exclude this part number. We might have gotten screwed over by the auto parts and been given the wrong one, but it was supposed to be one of the sensors for there. So we'll have to go address that issue. And then there's another part number we looked into, which I'm not sure. According to the computer, this EMH920 made in Wonton over here is some sort of a PCV valve. When we typed in PCV valve on the computer at the auto parts store, this is what came up. It looks like there's some kind of a diaphragm situation going on under there. So we'll look this up and make sure it's right. And then last but not least, we got a Wix filter, WA10937. And I believe this is the cabin, if I'm not wrong. Or no, this is the engine. This is the engine air filter by Wix. So we'll be putting a new air filter for the engine again. WA10937 is the correct Wix filter for the engine. I was wondering if there was anything in there. Okay, so then we got WP10448. And this should be my cabin air filter. It's so light, I almost thought I bought an empty box. But yeah, made in USA, not made in Wonton. How about that? So, USA, America, Wix, cabin air filter. Cabin air filter is for the air you breathe in the car. We're going to be going with Mobil 1 extended performance, 20,000 miles. Guaranteed, according to them. We're doing a 5W30 blend on this, and an extra quart just because. And then we got some Dex Cool full strength coolant. But I seen something here on the engine, if you follow me over here, that kind of caught my attention. And it's right here. Maybe somebody can educate me, but it says Oat Coolant, MS12106. So I don't know about no Oat Coolant. It looks orange, just like Dexcool. Maybe they call Dexcool Oat Coolant. I don't really work on Chryslers too often, so I really don't know what's going on with the whole Oat Coolant thing. We'll look into that. The last thing I'm gonna look for over here is normally your PCV valve, people, is on the valve covers. And I'm not seeing a PCV valve on these valve covers. But, you know, we got all kind of stuff going on over here. Let's see where they could have hid that PCV valve. And I am not seeing it. I'll have to do some more internet research on what they use for a PCV valve on this particular vehicle. But we might be returning whatever that PCV valve, the computer thing is, because I don't see it anywhere. If someone wants to help me out and chime in on where's the PCV valve for this, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, as long as you're quick with it, because if not, I'll figure out before you. But I also need to resolve these two sensors. This is what they should look like. You're gonna have one on top, one on bottom, and then you got your rubber hose running in. I will be inspecting this hose to see what condition it's in, if it needs to be replaced or not. Other than that, it's time to pull this out and start doing cleanup. I don't want to do videos that explain like the whole step-by-step, take this bolt out, take this out, blah, 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 because they get just too long-winded. And really, these videos are just really meant more to give you an idea of what it takes to get this job done. They're not really supposed to be a step-by-step. This is a job that you should really be paying someone else to do for you. If you need that kind of step-by-step, you probably shouldn't be doing this. There's a lot of like clips that will easily get broken if you're not careful. Plastic is fragile, and just handling the harness on this car, pulling the spark plug tubes out, they like to get stuck in the seals. A lot of that stuff, a lot of these clips are very easy to break. These hoses, if you don't squeeze them right, they crack and break. So there's a lot of little tedious things that you just want to like have experience before you do this, so you could break a lot more than you planned on, and it ends up costing you a lot more. So I really don't think that the kind of person that needs a video to tell them the step-by-step would be in their best interest, because they think, I can do it, it looks easy, watch him do it on video. And I do things differently than you, because I have years and years experience of knowing how to work with these clips and these hoses and not break plastic on everything that I'm touching. So for those, that's my reason for not doing that. But if someone else, I'm sure, probably put a video out, help yourself to it. This video is intended more of a discussion of what the problem is with these engines, for the owner to have an understanding and get like a real visual of where the oil comes from. A lot of times this oil will leak out of here and it'll drip down the back this way, down the side of the transmission. And when you're under the car, you'll see oil under the car in between the engine and the transmission, and you'll think, my rear main seal is leaking. And most places you'll take it to, they'll try to tell you it's your rear main seal, and it's not. It's the oil filter housing on these. So this motor is a V6, and in the galley, in the little valleyway, there is where that oil from the valley fills up and drains out the side of the transmission. It is not the rear main seal. Why they put that oil filter housing in the little valley in between the V, the cylinder heads get hot. And I know these are intake ports in the middle, not exhaust ports, but the cylinder heads are still getting hot. And plastic is just gonna do what over time? It's gonna fail, correct? So in conclusion, the aluminum upgrade will do you a lot better service than the original plastic one was. In my opinion, there should be a recall on this, and Jeep should be replacing all of these for free on every one of these cars they put out with an upgraded aluminum, but they're not. That box with the upgraded aluminum was not cheap. I'll leave it at that. It's really the majority of what you pay for when you do this job. So keep that in mind. If you own one of these engines, this should have been a recall. I don't think it is. Someone might be able to prove me wrong on that. But the point is, upgrade it even if it's not. The engine is actually a good engine. Just this is really like its Achilles heel, its weak point that seems to be failing more and more as they age 100,000 miles or more. You might say, it ain't happened to mine yet. Well, good for you. But guess what? Knock on wood somewhere, it's bound to happen soon. So they don't call it preventative maintenance for something. We'll end the video there, y'all. We want to thank you for watching. I may or may not make a second video. Drop some comments below. Anything I should have touched on you think I didn't, I'll be more than glad to entertain it in the comments. If it's important enough, you might even get a part 2 out of it. God bless you. I'll catch you on the next video.